Hello. My name is Usman Ayub. Hope everyone is fine. Even though I wanted to keep my channel strictly in Urdu, but there's so much happening in Pakistan which is affecting our brothers and sisters living in North America. I have seen those videos of dual citizens burning their expired passports. In all honesty, all of us dual nationals carry another overseas card. It's good for 10 years. For the same money you pay for the visa, you have the hassle of going to the embassy and applying and answering those questions that why do I want to go to Pakistan, etc. But anyways, so all the dual citizens in America, we all have those Nadra cards and the passports. I don't think so anybody uses passports. Anyway, so I really saw that video and I thought it was childish behavior. I saw like adults, standing in a circle first, showing their passports, and then they had a grill in the corner. They light it up, and then they set those passports on fire. I don't know what they're trying to say. I don't understand. Is passport equivalent to burning a flag? Or, it does has a star and a crescent on it. But anyway, so one was that reason. Second, earlier I was watching Hari Sultan and Ghalib Kamal do their stream. And I believe this one auntie came on the stream and cursed them out, and she had a question that why they're speaking about Pakistan. So, like I think Harris said and Ghalib said, what do you want us to talk about? We all, at one point, did live in Pakistan. In some instances, we have families in Pakistan. We have friends in Pakistan. We do speak with people in here in the West, in North America, who are Pakistanis. So I didn't get it. So I think that auntie was hilarious, and her coming over there, it might be a little nuisance, but it made the stream funny. And so auntie, I'm not that famous on YouTube, but if you were listening and you happen to watch this clip as well, you are an inspiration for me to come out and speak about it. Speak about your superhero named Khan Sahib, Imran Khan Sahib. Anyways, history has been made in Pakistan, and Khan Sahib becomes the very first prime minister to be ousted. As Khan Sahib says, he knows how to make world records. Well, this time around, just like 1992, he has made a record, and it's quite a unique one. Another thing which is definite, that just like Khan Sahib's cricketing career, his politics is also very unpredictable. On 8th of March, they entered the notion for a vote of no confidence. And surprisingly, until the 27th of March, Imran Khan and his party was a hush-hush. They didn't say a word against America or any other external forces starting a conspiracy against Khan Sahib and his government. All of a sudden, on 27th, he realized that nothing is changing. No Khalai Makhluk is showing any concern to save and protect Khan Sahib or taking any interest in the entire nonsense. Then Khan Sahib claimed that there's another conspiracy brewing against the Chief Minister of Punjab, Usman Buzdar. By the way, the most pathetic Chief Minister of Punjab. Well, Khan Sahib wanted a puppet or a trained circus animal to do tricks. And Khan Sahib commanded, and Usman Buzdar Sahib just acted. Well, anyway, Tehreek-e-Insaf played their propaganda very well in spreading numerous rumors and nonsense narratives in their favor, which of course were totally baseless. I truly believe that PTI supporters or workers could not fathom or even understand the game which was being played, all the false claims by the 1992 hero himself. So let's look at what happened on April 4th. Well, they played unconstitutional play. Deputy Speaker shows up and ruled against moving with the notion for casting votes. Mind-boggling. All what Fawad Chaudhry came, the mention of all the nonsense of America being there, external forces being there, trying to get rid of Khan Sahib. Well, they sort of, like the entire Tehreek-e-Insaf declared all other parties, in the opposition, all parties, to be a traitor. Well, looking and listening to PTI supporters and workers who really can't understand Constitution and the game which Khan Sahib was playing or tried to play. And the biggest reason near me for this, that the PTI supporters, for some odd reasons, hail Khan Sahib as he still is the captain of national cricket team, who could play any gameplay when it comes to throwing a ball, whether it's a Yorker or an in-swing, to get the batsman clean bowled. So no matter how fast you throw it, what kind of a swing, in-swing, out-swing, you just want to get the other person out. It seems like the PTI supporters hail him next to Muhammad, who could do no wrong, like the chosen Messiah, the messenger sent from heavens. Well, anyway, after the ruling deputy speaker, Khan Sahib came on TV like he has conquered Rome or something, and he himself has defeated Hercules, maybe, with like widen his chest and the smirky face. He announced that he has requested the president to dissolve assemblies. The guy, Khan Sahib, who spoke for the last 2 decades against General Musharraf, General Zia, Yahya Khan, and even Ayub Khan. But as soon as Khan Sahib announced the assemblies will be dissolved, all PTI supporters were on cloud nine, dancing, celebrating. For what, I have no clue, but it was very festive. They were cooking, they were cheering on for the same actions which Khan Sahib spoke about against all the dictators, all the army chiefs, the generals who became the presidents of Pakistan by doing all that. Anyways, the Supreme Court, after a few days of hearing, restored National Assembly and ordered for no confidence vote to be held again on the 9th of April. Well, in the parliament again, PTI leaders wasted time. Just BS over and over again. In simple words, by calling every other party a traitor against Pakistan, a traitor against their own country. The media, as we all know in Pakistan, politics gets discussed quite often in the media. Everybody listens to it. It has many flavors to it. Well, news started circulating that they are trying to sack Chief of the Army Staff. Like, what the hell? Has history not shown us in Khan Sab that what has happened in 1999 when Nawaz tried to sack Musharraf, and that too in air? Mind-boggling. Well, it doesn't stop there. There's some more reports surfaces around, and it says around 10 p.m. the chopper has landed at the Prime Minister house, and two very important personalities went to see Khan Sab. Then it doesn't stop there. More news surfaces that Khan Sab was roughed up by someone using cherry blossom polish. Well, the reference to cherry blossom polish because last 4 or 5 days on Facebook, on Twitter, on everywhere I see, Instagram even, all the PTI workers, they're tweeting about like cherry blossom. So anyway, I wanted to use the same word. So apparently Khan Sab was roughed up by someone using cherry blossom polish to shine their big boots. There's no evidence. We don't know if it has taken place or it hasn't. Nobody has a statement, like an official statement out, so we don't know. But again, I do not support for anybody, establishment or army chief or even DGI or whoever, to rough up or even touch or harm or hurt Khan Sab or any other person to that point. So I'm totally against it. I don't know what the hell happened. If it did happen, then screw you all. That's not nice. Well, Khan Sab tried his level best to hold on to the chair and don't let it go. Anyways, the proceeding went on late at night, and then around 11:30 p.m., I believe, the speaker himself, this time himself, Asad Kasser, announces that he's resigning, and the reason he gave for his resignation was pretty stupid, that he has known Khan Sab for 30-some odd years, and instead of like doing his job, like what he was put to do, be a little professional. No, this guy, I believe, totally lacks integrity, and instead of doing his job per his country, what he's been getting paid, he acts like a personal servant to Imran Khan and show his loyalty to Imran Khan over his own country. So that says a lot about this guy and his character. Just in case if Khan Sab comes in power, he might get some gifts, but at least people should remember. Again, not to forget about it, the Khan Sab has not shown any evidence or proof of any transaction as far as the money goes happening he has failed. I know he has talked a lot, and in Pakistan, it's a very common narrative that once you start talking about something a lot, somehow it becomes a truth. Anyways, so I don't understand. I mean, when we're talking about like large transaction of that nature taking place, money coming in, I'm pretty sure, I mean, Pakistan as a country, I mean, has agencies who could find these things out. But no, I mean, none of the agencies have reported anything, or Khan Sahib himself has shown anything. People taking money, I mean, Khan Sahib, I mean, are you forgetting you have all the lotas around you? And these people, I mean, they only care if they're coming in power again or not. I mean, this is their bread and butter. So if the other person promises them that they're going to make sure that they will come in power, they don't care. They come, they get a ticket from PTI, or they get a ticket from PMLN or Q or PPPP or anyone. But I just don't understand. I mean, like, how this could come as a surprise to Khan Sahib, a graduate of Oxford, and that too in political science. He simply just forgot the word or the term horse trading. I don't buy it, but I mean, I take him as a very smart guy, but I guess we all make mistakes at some time, and maybe Khan Sahib was not too smart at some point to read people around him or to understand the game. That we know. To talk about how Khan Sahib came in power, I mean, I don't think so at this point. Anyone who knows a little something about Pakistani politics would disagree when I say that Khan Sahib was brought in by establishment. It's not. I mean, he won the elections fair and square, and then he got the majority vote, and all of a sudden he became the most popular prime minister. No, I mean, establishment is the one who brought him in power, and Khan Sahib was just another puppet of the establishment. Talking about like corruption, I mean, those things, I think it's pretty early on in the way Khan Sahib and his party has been running the government for some time, but I'm pretty sure, I mean, some news of corruption will come up. The only one, because now, again, like I said earlier, once you say something over and over again in Pakistan, apparently it becomes the truth. So same way, I mean, we have heard for decades now, like for over 2 decades, that Khan Sahib is an honest person, and I mean, I want to believe that. I don't want to say that he's a dishonest person, but it all depends. So if you take like a gallon of milk and put 6 or 5 mLs of a urine, now all of a sudden that entire gallons of milk is tainted, right? Even though the ratio of urine versus milk, it's huge difference. But anyway, so what I want to say is Khan Sahib's house, because Khan Sahib lives in at Banigala, which for the longest was a forest land, but somehow magically converted to the residential area, and there were a lot of his friends There were some friends who ditched money, and somehow they made that forest land into residential land. So, I mean, do we have any proof of it? I don't know. Maybe it'll come out in later years. But if he's that honest, would he make a dishonest decision for such a small gain? I mean, a house. I mean, I guess I haven't seen it. Not a small gain. I guess it's a huge gain, but whatever. And the only thing I can think about why, I mean, all these troubles Khan Sab is facing, I truly believe that establishment who brought Khan Sab in power is over him, and either he's not listening to them, or he is not something which they want to have, so they just want to get rid of him. I think like Khan Sab must tell his party workers the truth, because he owes that much to his supporters, that this was no external play. It was all internal. It was all done by the kingmakers working against him, but those are internal people. They are Pakistanis. They are in the system, right? Whether it was scripted or directed by the establishment, but I truly believe there were many players involved, and this was going on for some time, and Khan Sab missed the signs. Well, right now, blaming Biden and USA, well, we all know it sells. It sounds appealing to create a hype. If I truly believe if Khan Sab had the evidence, I mean the letter, that Biden is trying to get rid of Khan Sab, or if he had any, I truly believe if he had any evidence, he's the sort of a guy who would have shown it. I don't think so at this point, the way he's behaving, and he's power hungry. He's not a guy who's gonna play fair or accept that his time is over, or just go and, fight in the elections. He's not that kind of a guy. He's definitely gonna fight it out, try anything and everything to stay back and hold the power. Personally, I wanted Khan Sab to complete his full term, and I wish in my lifetime, at least once, I get to see the Prime Minister of Pakistan completing the full term of 5 years. I wish, and I hope. I mean, we've been hoping and wishing for. By making this video, at no point I'm implying or supporting Nawaz or Zardari or Bilawal or Maulana Fazl Rahman. No, I do not know who is the right person for Pakistan around this time around. I don't. I was happy when Imran Khan won. As you know, I mean, I live in the West, and I believe 9 out of 10 people around me, they admire Khan Sab, and I was an admirer too. I was never like a huge fan of his cricket, but the way he struggled to come up in the beginning, how he gathered some young blood with him, which was lost, but I guess that's how the game is played. When in the beginning, all the young blood, the young professionals, they were citing him and they were side by side. And then at the end, all those fools, not fools in general sense, but all those, the seasoned players, the Lotas, like the Qureshi, Sheikh Rashid, Firdos Ashikawan. I mean, you want me to admire Khan Saab, and if Khan Saab wants to bring Firdos Ashikawan as the face of PTI, I mean, I can't really go with that. I don't know. I mean, Imran Khan is popular. Imran Khan has charisma. Imran Khan has won more support during this turmoil. And he's going to cash in his popularity. And what does he has more than that? He has anti-American sentiment, which sells like hot pancakes in Pakistan. So the more he speaks against America, the better he gets to nab those votes from majority of Pakistan. Like I said, I mean, I cherished the moment when he came in power. I was watching the elections. I was following the elections. I was rooting for him to win. And then when he won, I was very happy because, like I said, I mean, I truly believe that everybody else was evil and he was definitely the better choice, which I have no problem giving the same statement. But the way he has acted in this last month or less than a month is, I mean, the person who speaks about Constitution all day long and then the next day goes and plays against the Constitution, does exactly what the dictators has done. I don't know. My first incidents, I mean, like I said, I mean, initially I was super excited when he came in power. But if you remember very early on, I lost respect for him. And the reason I lost respect for him because in the beginning, he had a vision to bring people on merit, which on paper sounds really, really good. But when he started putting that entire script or gathering it, there was a nominee for finance minister. His name was Mia Atif. And he was a brilliant guy, right? He definitely had credentials. The companies he worked for, the portfolio he carried, definitely had the experience to become like a proper finance minister. But then the rumors surfaced, which to this date I don't know if it was true or false, that he is an Ahmadi, and for that reason, if Khan Saab is going to go on with Mia Atif, he's going to get backlash and he's going to get very, very angry people. So this was the point, and as you know, it was very early on that here, like looking at this guy, the guy who is a graduate from Oxford, the guy who has played cricket, county cricket, the guy who lived in very civilized countries, the guy who hung out with the intellectuals, with with the wealthy, with the humanist, with all sort of people, and he understood diversity. I mean, he has seen the West, he has lived there, and then when it comes down to it, he goes low and he chose Asad Umar, I mean, who failed at the end anyway, but chose Asad Umar just because of his beliefs that he's of, I believe, a Sunni Muslim versus Ahmadi Muslim. So I truly lost my respect, and I still, to this date, hold a grudge for him not to come out as a leader of Naya Pakistan, because in Purana Pakistan, the problem was that everybody had the same narrative against Ahmadis, and then this guy comes and follows exactly the same rituals and BS things to follow and oust an Ahmadi based on his belief. Well, I backed up, and it was shocking for me. Khan Sahib had to show a little courage, and I'm pretty sure, he was new in power, and there were tons of people around him. He had a chance to make a change, but he chose not to. And then after that, I mean, the pressure and press pressure and people pressure and other parties and voters, he came and he blabbed some shit against Ahmadi Muslims, and everybody started loving him back again. Not me. What other problems I have with Imran Khan? Well, the BS around turning Pakistan into Madinah ki Riyasat were nonsense. It's Pakistan. 1947, it became Pakistan. And then 2018, you became the Prime Minister of Pakistan, and you want to change the entire country, the system, and you want to change it to make it like 1400 years ago. Well, 1400 years ago, Prophet and the caliphs used rocks to wipe their asses. Why the hell anybody want to live in that era? Laundries were allowed. Stoning, burning, people alive was a thing of that era. That's what people did, and that's what was a norm. So now, all of a sudden, he wants us to go and live that kind of life again, when the morals were pretty rubbish. I mean, they were rubbish as compared to now. I mean, everybody knows they had laundries. He had 11 wives or 13 wives. And then on top of it, he went to Hifza's house once. And that's also was in Medina. So Hifza was one of his wives. And Hifza had one of the servants named Maria, the Coptic. And I guess he saw her and he lusted over her, over a servant. Wow. Great morality. Anyway, so he ended up having sex. I mean, he somehow sent his wife out and told her, hey, listen, your dad is calling you. He's looking for you. Anyway, I mean, he was horny, and I guess when person is horny, I mean, they can go to any extent, if, but whatever. But anyway, I mean, that's the morality, I mean, of Madinah ki Riyasat. I mean, yeah, we can talk about some good things, but then if it's Madinah ki Riyasat, then let's talk about everything, the standards. I mean, what do you want to do? I'm an atheist, right? Luckily, I don't live in Pakistan. But in Madinah ki riyasat, what you gonna do? Are you gonna start burning people alive like Ali did and Muhammad did or ordered, right? Are you gonna stone them for adultery? I mean, is that what you want? So let's not talk about Madinah ki riyasat. If by some chance or some ways you come back in power, stay away from this Madinah ki riyasat crap. Just make it a better Pakistan. Forget about Naya Pakistan, because last 3+ years, I mean, you were trying to work so hard to make it into a Naya Pakistan. Just leave Pakistan. Just make it a better Pakistan, where people are safe. People are, they succeed. Economy is better. Health, education. I mean, the biggest problem, which Khan Sahib knows, everybody knows, it's the education, it's the health system, it's the poverty level. But, spend some time, just bring somebody proper this time. Include Ahmadis, include Shias, include everyone. Yes, I don't believe in any dogmatic religions. I don't believe in any sects, but good for you. Another thing, next time you become a prime minister, stop lying to people about this Islamophobia stuff, because we in the West, we know when you're lying to them, so it's easy for you to fool your Pakistani people. But I don't understand how even in the West there's so many Pakistani Americans, Pakistani Canadians, British Pakistanis, they buy into the same crap. I'm an American or a Pakistani American. I do have freedom of speech. That's my right given by the Constitution. And I will speak about Islam. I will definitely speak about Quran. I'll definitely speak about Muhammad. And talking about all them, and I forgot Muhammad and his flying donkey. I will also talk about that as well. It's Islamophobe. You can go in Webster Dictionary and get the definition of that. Somehow you guys mix, Khan Sahib mix Islamophobia with Muslimophobia. So I'm totally against. I don't hate any Muslims, and I will never try to hurt any Muslim. But as far as talking about Allah and Muhammad and the Quran and the flying donkey, yes, they're there to get ridiculed, and I'm going to talk about it. And the reason is, nor Allah, Muhammad, the flying donkey, or the Quran, they don't have heartbeat. They don't have emotions. So I'm not hurting them if I talk about it. Or people like me, the atheist or ex-Muslims. So they don't have emotions. And Quran gets printed on recycled paper, for crying out loud. Recycled paper in Pakistan, do you even know where that comes from and how it gets recycled? But anyway, so that's my thing about that. I truly hope Pakistan stays safe, and definitely would like Pakistan to progress and be a stable country with stable economy and government. I also hope and wish Pakistan's relationship get better with India under this new government in place, because in the past, when Nawaz Sharif was the prime minister, and I'm not a fan of Nawaz Sharif, he's corrupt. And but one thing I'll give him, he did not come and spread hatred. I do remember watching his speeches, he even went this far to say, "Oh, हमारे भगवान, हमारे खुदा एक हैं, हमारा खाना एक है, हमारा culture एक है." We need people like that, right? I don't know. I mean, if our grandfathers and their fathers were fighting among each other, that reason is not good enough to fight. I mean, we live in the West. I have plenty of Indian friends. And then, even, I mean, when we're watching like cricket match, I mean, we don't hate each other. We watch the match together because we're exposed to them, right? The problem is the borders are closed. Look at me. I mean, I wish I could go and have some food at Chandni Chowk. I would love to visit Shimla. I would love to visit Delhi. I have friends. I mean, I was just talking to my friend the other day, and Prashant Bhai, if you're listening, I mean, I wish I can come and break some bread with you someday. So I truly hope, I mean, this comment or the next comment, they come and they fix the relationship among India. I mean, we have history in the past, I mean, where Europe, I mean, so many countries, I mean, the Jews are like fully open to go to Germany. Nobody stops them. France, Italy, I mean, everybody is all good with each other. And us, two nations, I mean, we're getting, crazy life and relationship because of some nonsense. But anyway, I mean, at the end, I wish everyone the best. And PTS supporters, I understand, I mean, your aggression. And I understand, like, you want to see your leader win. All the best to you. But let's not attack people. Let's be civil, right? You talk about Naya Pakistan. Show us that you are educated people. Let's not curse your PTI IT cell. I mean, I see your post. I mean, you jump on and you start cursing at somebody's mother and sister. I mean, you talk about Naya Pakistan. Let's act a little civilized. Let's not act like your crazy leader. But at the end, I would just say, Pakistan Zindabad and Pakistan Paindabad. Take care, guys.